thought I'd share what happened to me today, because whatever I felt tonight, I still can't fully explain it. And the weirdest part is, this literally just happened, like hours ago. Today was my first day in America. First day. First job. And probably the first time in my life I've ever felt this alone. Not the kind of alone where you're actually by yourself, but the kind where people are around and you still feel completely isolated. When people talk about America, they usually say it's modern, safe, organized. And during the day, yeah, it feels exactly like that. But once it gets late, something changes. The silence gets heavier, almost uncomfortable. I had just started my job. I was excited, honestly, a little proud. But there was one issue. My place was pretty far from where I worked. At the time, I didn't think much of it. My morning shift went fine. People everywhere. Traffic. Noise. Just a normal workday. I had no idea the same area could feel completely different at night. Uneasy. My shift ended later than expected. When I walked out of the building, it was around 9:40 p.m. The parking lot was almost empty. Cars were still there, but people weren't. And when there are no people around, everything suddenly feels bigger and way less safe. The streetlights were on, but the spaces between them felt way too dark. Like the light was there just to help you see, not to protect you. I kept telling myself, relax, it's your first day. You're just nervous. But my chest felt heavy. That quiet kind of anxiety that doesn't give you a reason, it just shows up. The bus stop was about a 15-minute walk away. That doesn't sound like much. But at night, 15 minutes can feel really long. The first few minutes were fine. Then, something shifted. Careful, alert. I started feeling like I was being watched. Not from one direction, just in general. Like eyes on me. Noticing detail, I adjusted my backpack and glanced across the street. That's when I saw them. Two guys. Low, controlled. They weren't talking. They weren't on their phones. They were just standing there, watching me. Trying to stay logical. I told myself it was nothing. But when I kept walking and looked again, they were still staring. Not casually. It felt intentional. Explaining discomfort. I've spent time in places like South Korea where people are usually pretty reserved. But this wasn't that. This kind of staring doesn't feel normal anywhere. I picked up my pace, and that's when I noticed something else. Footsteps. Soft, but perfectly synced with mine. I turned around. There was a guy behind me. Black hoodie, cap pulled low. I couldn't really see his face. He was looking at his phone, or pretending to. I told myself, relax. People walk the same direction all the time. And I kept going. Then I turned left. He turned left. I turned right. He turned right. That's when my heart rate started getting out of control. I pulled out my phone and pretended to be on a call, just to see if he'd stop. He didn't. He stayed right there, not getting closer, not falling back, like he knew exactly how far to stay. At that point, my brain was spiraling. Why is he following me? Is this just a coincidence? Am I overthinking this? Or am I actually in trouble right now? I suddenly stopped and bent down like I was tying my shoe. He He walked a few steps past me, then stopped, slowly turned around, and stared. I won't lie, my body completely froze. No anger in his eyes, no fear, just nothing. Like he was waiting to see what I'd do next. I made myself keep walking. This time, I changed my route. I turned into a residential street. Houses everywhere, but barely any lights on. No TVs, no music, just silence. I looked back. He turned into the same street. Firm. That's when I knew this wasn't a coincidence. And then I saw someone else at the end of the street. Another guy. At first, he wasn't looking at me, but as I got closer, he lifted his head and locked eyes with me. Two people, one behind me, one in front of me. Me, stuck in the middle. Every instinct I had was screaming one thing: get out. I didn't walk anymore. I started jogging, and the footsteps behind me got faster too. The bus stop finally came into view. There were a few other people there. As soon as I reached them, the footsteps stopped. I turned around. Both guys were still there, standing at a distance, not looking at me, like nothing had happened. The bus pulled up. I got on immediately. Only then did my breathing start to slow down. When I got home, I left all the lights on. Didn't even take my shoes off. I just sat there, thinking. I still don't know. Were those guys just coincidences? Or was I actually being followed? All I know is this. Today was my first day in America. And today I learned something important. Danger doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it just walks quietly behind you. When I finally sat down, that's when it hit me. My hands were shaking, not violently, just enough that I noticed. I tried to laugh it off, told myself, man, you're just tired. New place, new job, jet lag, stress. But my body didn't believe that. I checked the locks again. Door, window, bathroom. Everything was locked. Still, I didn't feel safe. I sat on the bed, lights fully on, phone in my hand. And that's when something really messed with me. I realized those guys never spoke. Not to each other, not on the phone, not even a word. Just eyes and timing. I opened Google Maps, traced my walk, every turn, every stop. And the more I looked at it, the more uncomfortable it felt. Because there were easier routes, brighter streets. Yet somehow we all ended up on the same one. That doesn't happen by accident. I checked the time, 10:26 p.m. I told myself I wouldn't overthink anymore. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Just one message. You got home safe? It breathed. My stomach dropped, not because of the message, but because I never told anyone where I lived. And I definitely didn't give my number to anyone at work. Careful panic. I stared at the screen, typed something, deleted it, typed again. Nothing felt right. Finally, I replied. Who is this? 3 dots appeared immediately, then stopped, then appeared again. That typing bubble lasted way longer than it should have. Then the reply came. One of the guys from earlier. My heart started pounding. I sat up straight. How did you get my number? I typed. This time, there was no typing bubble, just silence. Then minutes. I checked my call log. Nothing. Checked my apps. Nothing suspicious. I told myself it was probably a prank, Wrong number. Some messed up coincidence. But deep down, I knew better. Lower, thoughtful fear. Because the scariest part, the message didn't threaten me. It didn't ask for anything. It just wanted to know if I made it home. Almost politely. I didn't reply. I put my phone face down. Tried to sleep? Couldn't. Every sound outside felt louder. A car door, footsteps, someone laughing far away. Each one made my chest tighten. At around 1 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Same number. One message. I wasn't going to hurt you. I sat there frozen, because nobody says that unless you already think they might. I didn't respond. I blocked the number, turned my phone off, and just lay there staring at the ceiling. Slow realization. That was the moment I understood something. Whatever happened tonight wasn't about crime. It wasn't about money. It was about attention, about watching, about seeing how someone reacts when they think they're alone. Reflective, serious. I've been here only one day. One day. And already I learned a rule no one tells you. Sometimes the danger isn't loud. It doesn't chase you. It doesn't scream. Sometimes it just checks if you made it home. Long pause. And that's what scares me the most, because tomorrow I have to walk that route again.